All right, we are live. Having some technical difficulties, and apparently my phone camera doesn't want to talk to my computer at the moment. I told it to pause a little while ago because I was doing something else, and yeah, get it unpaused. So whatever. It's all good. It's all good. We're just gonna carry on. These are the things that happen when you're live. Um, yeah, I couldn't it solved ahead of time. So we're on this display today. And today I am looking at, now this one myself, I'll talk about that in a moment, but I received some gifts and that were sent to me from two of my friends, and this wonderful handmade bookmark, which I'm going to set aside. And then I got the Art Nouveau set, which is apparently hard to find. And, this made you jump. Oh, was it like loud, or did I scare when I came on? Joseph. Hi, Rob. So I have been wanting to swatch these out since I got them. And the links are in the description for this stuff. With the exception of, because we're not going to try this one today. I'm going to save this one for another time. This is the Daler Round Aquafine Watercolor Travel Set. And I'm really excited to try this, but I just think that with everything else, we're probably going to have time to get to that one today. So I'm going to save this one for another time. So, setting that aside, today we're looking at some paints by Kurtaki. And this is the Art Nouveau set. So huge thank you. I don't know if you guys want to be known or not, but huge thank you to the patron who sent this to me. And also these were sent to me from another. And this is the Gansai Tambi 12 color set. This is set number 2. And this is the Art Nouveau set, which apparently is really hard to get your hands on. And I was looking for the link, and there's a link below to Blick. Blick does carry it. Could not find it anywhere on Amazon right now. And sorry guys, my allergies, the pollen is off the hook right now. Anyhow, Amazon I couldn't find it. Blick have it. They are out of stock, but the link is in the description below. They will be back in stock in May. So you can get this from Blick. You can order it, just that it's back ordered. So if you see this today and we swatch them out and you just love it, you can go ahead and order it. Again, just back order. It's going to be a little bit before it's delivered. And then this one also available on, but this is the 12 colors set 2. So there's a, there's a few different sets. And then of course, I think they have a set that encompasses like all of them. Yeah. Anybody else experiencing buffer, please let me know. And I can see if there's anything I do on my end. I went with low, so hopefully I don't know, but I'm seeing that YouTube is, to me, it's not receiving enough video to maintain a smooth stream. Hopefully this fixes itself real quick. Let me know if that stays a problem, then I may have to restart it. I'm not sure. We haven't had that problem, and I don't know why it's giving me a problem, because I know it's not my internet. I think it's YouTube. All right. So hopefully we thumbs up and it's clearing up. I don't know. Hopefully it'll fix itself. I'll kind of keep an eye on that. But the other one that I'm going to look at, and I already made the swatch charts and already wrote everything down. And this is for our Art Nouveau set. And then this is the Boku-Undo E-Sumi watercolor, and this is Shadow Black. And these I haven't even unwrapped them yet. I ordered these a while ago. Honestly, Lindsay got me with these. She gets me with more things. So Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, I'm talking about, if anybody's not familiar. And I don't know how you would find little old me not know who she is, but it sure is possible. So just these colors looked really, really, I loved the muted colors, and so I had to get a set. We're going to look at those today as well. I figured because they're all the same type of, that large pan, and I'm just going to do all of those today. And we should be able to get through it. Now, I will say, I made the mistake. Oh, I started to do my swatch, and I had to put some, I used the Copic white to cover up what I'd written. It covered pretty well. I was very impressed. So that I could rewrite it, because the way that they go here, It's not the way they are in the pan, you know, in the set. They're in here in a little different order. So I just went with the order that was here, not by what was here, and put them down so that this will match. On the Art Nouveau set, they are in the box in the order that they're on here, but, you know, of course, this lists out 6, and we've got rows of 4. So let's start there. I've already opened these, and I've heard, I started looking up earlier, and I had a fall, and I wasn't able to keep searching for information. I was trying to see if I could find any pigment information on these. I don't know. If you do, please leave me a comment below, whether you're in the stream or watch this on replay. I don't know if anybody has pigment information for them. I would really love to get pigment information, but again, you know, I don't know. So I don't have that. I've heard some people say that they've done, that some artists have done light fast tests on it. They're not light fast. I don't know. I can't tell you yes or no. And no pigment info or light fast ratings. Yeah, Rob, you can't find either. So if I do, I will be sure to update that information. And if you follow me over on MeWe or Facebook, which I forgot to totally post that I was going live because the camera is just set me off. And yeah. So anyhow, if you know it, please leave me a comment where I might find that for myself, because I would love to look it up. And if I find it, I will share it with everybody. So Terry, you said you couldn't find it when you went either. Okay. I just have my butcher tray because the way that I do my swatching today is a little different than I have in the past. And I'm going to be using my SilverWhite brushes again because I really want to give these more trial. We've just used them one time. And in the set I got, just as a refresher, and these are linked below, were these 4. And if you were here the last time or saw the previous stream, you know that is like the most springy rigger brush I have ever seen. Like it's wet right now, but you see the spring pops right back. And when that's wet, it's a beautiful point. Look at the point. And even I don't want to like fling water everywhere. Look at that spring. Like, if you like a brush that has a lot of spring and will really kind of, you know, hold its shape if you're sitting here doing stuff with very fine lines, and it will leave a very, very fine line, this might be one that you like to try. You know, if you like watercolor brushes that aren't soft, say like a Princeton Neptune, I think is a soft brush, where if I got that wet and kind of push it over, it's going to kind of stay put over. These spring back really nice. They have great snap to them. So we are going to try, at least, you know, my first impression. That's how they felt. And it has a number 10 round, a number 4 round. This was a 1/2 inch stroke, is what they call this one. It's a little longer than a bright. And then, of course, that rigger. And that was the number 1. And they call it a script. So a script, a rigger. I think they're interchangeable, at least as far as I'm understanding, but regardless. So I have some distilled water. I'm like hesitant because this cardboard. So these pens, I mean, versus a traditional, I actually have one here that I'm getting ready to send to somebody that's traditional half pan. And then these pans, I mean, you see the size comparison. Now, granted, these are only about half full, but if you look at the size of them, their height is like the same as a traditional pan. Their width is about, a traditional half is about 2/3 the width of these pans. So if I set that in there, I mean, you're talking 2 of those is equivalent to a full half pan. You're getting, that's a lot more paint. So, and I love that right off the bat, like I haven't tried these yet. I love the size. I love, yeah, this is dry. Getting a brush in there is not going to be a problem. So there's that. And for some reason, okay, my chat isn't scrolling, but okay. And they're sending these in the case, and it has, the numbers are here. And if you took some of these out, you're also going to find the number here. So 404 is saffron yellow, which I'm sure that's part of what this is. I haven't done like Google Translate to see what other information, if any, is given in here. I don't know. Again, if you know, please leave me a comment. If you're watching this on replay and you do know, please drop me a comment where I can go see the information, because I would love to find out more about these. For example, we have number 19 is Potter's Pink. I haven't talked a lot about Potter's Pink, but I really like the color. So I'm really curious to see, and I like the granulation of the color. So I'm really curious to see how this does. And are some of these going to have granulation? I don't know. So we'll find out. I'm going to spritz it. And like I said, I was hesitant because this is cardboard, but I think a light spritz is going to be fine. Just to get those activated. I hear that they re-wet beautifully. Now, the way that I'm going to do these is, yes, okay, because he said it. I didn't want to just like put him out there, but Rob did send these to me. Huge thank you to Rob. And I was absolutely not expecting this. It was so wonderful treat to be able to get these in. And I have been just dying to give these a go and swatch them since I got them. But I've heard that, like, in their mass tone, that they're much thicker, like gouache, but yet, or almost like gouache, but then watered down, they're like beautiful. It's like watercolor would be. So they're kind of like somewhere on that middle road between watercolor and gouache. So I don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, I didn't secure my pink in the bottom of that. So in the beginning, so you see how they activate without a spritz. On the next set, I'll do that. I'll see how they activate without spritz them. And Rob says he found them sticky without the spritz. Good. No, we'll find out. So first I'm going to do a circle where it's just like at its last tone. And the reason I have a tray here is because then I'm going to take that paint and bring it over here and then add some water so that they're thinned down, and a second circle so we can kind of see them in full strength and then also watered down. At least that's my plan. That's my plan for now. Oh, that's up. The pans, okay, so the pens feel, yeah, it feels a little sticky, especially where like I didn't heavily spritz those. But I want to go back into water, but I just said I wasn't doing that. But they are re-wetting very easily. Okay, so this is number 404, which is saffron yellow. And when I say number 404, that is just their numbering system and how they did it. So that is the saffron yellow. And now you see, I'm just going to try to get some of that paint out first before I grab water and mix it in with. And I know that after a bit, you're not going to be able to see the colors, because they don't all fit. I could imagine if you had like that of 40, or oh my goodness, could you imagine? I think there's like 100. If you had the whole big set, that would take up so much room, so much like real estate on your desk. I don't know that I have much room. Let's get that between its mass tone, and then when we have it watered. The only thing I didn't do is I should have. Let me put it. I didn't add like a black line so that we could see how opaque are they. I guess that would be nice to know, huh? So I'm just going to take a Copic marker real quick, and I'm just going to go like this. And by the time I'm done, I'm sure that will have dried. This is an alcohol marker. And we'll do the mass tone over top of that. And then we'll be able to see just how opaque those are. Sorry, my chair. If I lean one way, I said this, I think the last year, I need to have a look at it. I lean away on my chair and it like makes clunk sound. Like one of the days I'm gonna end up on the floor. And I have a pretty high, I have like a bar height. My chair in my art studio is kind of like bar height because I have my desk that I work at here is like I can raise it or lower it. So I pretty much got a bar height chair, and I can either stand at my desk is it perfect, and then I'll have to raise and lower it all the time, which kind of defeats the purpose of why I have this particular desk. But you know, the point would be a long way down. All right, I'm going to give a little line here, and I'll go over that again, the mass tone, so that we can see. So dry for a moment. It was dry fast in the pen itself. Where it was wet was dry quickly too. Of course, everything, I don't know why everything dries so fast here. I need a humidifier for the studio because it is so dry. All right. As soon as I moved that around, I could see it through, but all right, we'll see how that dries. I don't think I have enough rinsing water here. So I'm going to go around. Actually, I'm going to grab a pipette and I'm just going to add a drop. This is not going to be enough. What I searched is just, there's no way. That is not going to be enough there. So I'm going to grab some of my clean water and just put a couple drops in each one. So you have these colors. Do you like them? Do you find them fun to work with? I'm going to need a little bit more water. But they do re-wet quick. There we go. All right. Next color is 405, and that's green gold. Yeah, I totally forgot to even post this out on MeWe or Facebook. I was like so concerned with the fact that my my other camera wasn't working. I was like, well, I can't get it fixed and it's time to go live. So unfortunately, we've got the view today, but it's fine. You get to see us in bigger size anyways. So 405 is green gold. That there. Mix that up with some water. See, I would think, just my opinion, I know we'll find out, that once mixed with the water, that's where if it granulates, I'm going to see more of it. Raw choice them. The muted tones. I really do. I like muted tones too. So that's why I was very excited to be able to give these a go. The next one is number 401, and that is a flax beige. That's what they're calling it. So at first you see that mass tones, you look pretty opaque, but as we're drying here, we're seeing that that's starting to come through. So there's definitely some transparency. And basically I'm just dunking my brush in the, you see, just dunking my brush in my clean water, not swirling it to make the come out of it, but just letting it up that water and it bring it back over here. Tara hasn't had a chance to play with hers yet. She's just watched the ones that she's gotten. Yeah, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and go live today. Today's been a good day thus far, as far as how I'm feeling. And I was trying to decide between two things what I was going to do, and I just knew I had to at least swatch them because I have been just dying to play with them, and I wanted to go ahead and record it. And yeah, I figured, well, I'm going to do this and we'll kind of chat, and hopefully everybody likes swatching colors because that's where we're at today. And Rob asked if that was granulation, he says, and in the flax piece, yeah, it looks like I'm starting to get some, very little in the green gold, not really any in the saffron yellow. In the watered down one, I'll bring all this up to the search of the camera for you to see after. But yeah, it looks like that flax beige that I'm seeing some as well. What you're picking up is, I think, accurate. All right, so our next color is number 8, and that's pale pink. But I think it'd be good to know too, like maybe if it didn't granulate in mass tone, but it did when it was diluted, it would help you know like which way you might want to use that color, whether you did or did not want granulation. Definitely going to show through. I didn't grab another palette, but I have a plate handy. I'm going to fill in all the spaces on the palette. And I don't know why we're rinsing all that color out. I needed to grab water. This is going to be very soft. That's like barely see it. I'm going to actually pull a little bit more of this pigment in. I think I diluted it a bit too much. But good to know. You can make a very, very soft color as well. All right, the next one for 17, and that's coral pink. I definitely love the size of these pans. I love that you can really get your brush in there. That's a huge plus for me. I find that it's funny when I first started using and trying out watercolors, I can remember having a little brush, like a full round or something, and like I was gonna paint everything with that. Oh my gosh, no! And now I've gotten brushes that I like that hold such a great point that I really use those smaller brushes because I can do so much with the bigger brush. Now that looks like it's going to have some granulation just immediately looking at that. We'll see. And, now I barely reach for those little brushes because I love some of my big brushes that really their point well, like my SilverWhite Velvets. Those are great. Mimic holds a point very nicely too. But it's hard to get those big brushes in those little tiny, those little tiny pans. So I'm liking these. All right, so next is the Potter's Pink. So this is the one where it's really creamy, like where that water is sitting. The further I'm going, like part, I can see the circle here where I had dropped the water. It's made kind of a divot. All right, so Potter's Pink is very granulating. Both Winter Newton and Daniel Smith are ones that I have it in. It is PR. Oh my gosh. It's not 22. I want to say it's 2 something. Can't believe I don't like that. Just wait. As soon as I wanted to tell you, it was gone. It is. Oh my goodness. 233. Is that right? Yes, 233. Wow. Because there it is, Daniel Smith. I was like, what color? What pigment is that? It's Pigment Red 233. All right. So now this is where this is what I'm wondering. We'll see relation. And it's much darker. It's a much darker color. Well, this looking darker. We'll see how it dries. But it's a much darker color. Well, not much darker. It's a darker in both Winsor & Newton and Daniel Smith straight out of the tube. So I'd be really curious to see how that one dried. But they're both very granulating. Now I will say that spoiler alert. I will show these in a different video at some point. The first pink. It's probably going to be the only time that I can imagine you'd hear me say this. I don't like Daniel Smith Potter's pink if you dry it in a half pan. It's very. I did a test with it when I was plein air painting with Lindsay, which I posted a short about that when we were out there, and she's tagged me in her video. If you guys seen them, I'm not sure, but regardless, I did a swatch for the palette I brought, and when I swatched the Daniel Smith Potter's pink that I had dried in a half pan, I was not happy. Like it almost like, I don't say it got frothy, but it like mixing up the paint with the water in the pan, it got like bubbles in it. And I did not like put it on almost like there was too much binder in the one that I had, but then I would think if there was more binder, it would have re-wet a little easier. I know it's rare. I love Daniel Smith's stuff. I did not like the way that re-wet at all, like so much that when I was setting up my second palette that had some extra colors, I grabbed Winsor & Newton Potter's pink and put it in that palette because if I wanted to use Potter's pink, I wasn't going to use the one I had just swatched. I mean, I could have pulled it out and put a different color in, but I need to do a test on that. I need to test it straight from the tube. And if it's still giving me a problem, then I'm going to reach out to Daniel Smith. I've never had an issue like that with any of the colors. So, yeah. Okay, it's rare. You hear me say anything bad about them because I've never run into something with them that I did not like. But, you know, there's a first time or an exception to the rule mostly. Right? Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Yeah. I love their sticks. That is definitely the best value for your money. They've come out and said it's the exact same paint in the sticks as it is in their pre-poured half pans as it is in their tube. So you're not getting anything less by going with the sticks. In fact, you're getting more for your money that way because the sticks are much more cost effective. So this says it's alizarin crimson, and this looks more like what I would expect my Potter pink to look like. But this says alizarin crimson. And without having the pigment numbers, it's hard to say, you know, traditionally this would be called one thing because they can name them anything they want. You know, that's all up to the paint manufacturer. So that makes it kind of sometimes. But alizarin crimson, that's not what I would expect from alizarin crimson. However, that's what they're calling it here. So now we have mauve taupe. That's number 303. Alizarin crimson was 304. I didn't say this was vermilion, which was number 32. Potter's pink was number 19. But yeah, it doesn't look like alizarin crimson. So this is number 303, mauve taupe. And paper that I'm using today, which I think I actually didn't link in the description below. I've shared it with you guys before. I just grabbed a couple pieces of this is the B watercolor paper, but this is not 100% cotton one. This is from the Be Inspired pad. Oh, look at that. That looks like it has some opacity, but we'll see how it dries. And I will show it to you in just a second. It is this one right here. And you can pick these up at Walmart. Now, I do have a link to Walmart in the description below. Yes, I am a Walmart affiliate, and if you order it from walmart.com, the channel gets a little bit of support from that. But that's where I have found this, and I'm gonna say it was like right around $10 for 50 sheets. So this is not the cotton paper, and it's not the same as the 100% cotton that I show you. When I say I'm just using my B watercolor paper, I mean my cotton paper. But this is inspired by the B paper company. And yeah, you get 59 by 12 sheets. It was around $10 when I got it. I don't know if the price has changed in a year or not, but natural white, cold press, acid free, and does more. It's a cellulose, but for a cellulose paper, I like it much better than, say, Canson XL paper. Of course, you guys know I don't like the Canson XL paper, which I learned a lesson with that because, at this where the water was, I was seeing a separation of colors. So I'm wondering if we're going to see a separation of colors when I mix this with the water and put it down. I'm not a personal fan of that paper. Not for when really wet into wet watercolor. I haven't used it. I'm still searching for what I will love on that paper because there was a sale and I got a bunch of it. And then the more I really got into watercolor, I did not like it. I started on that paper, and when I went to a better paper, a lot of my struggles disappeared that I was having. So I'm definitely pro spend your money on the paper for watercolor. You know, you can make do with brushes. You can make do with some student grade paint. But man, you're really gonna struggle if you don't have the right paper. Old Mauve, number 301. Look, purple. I like that purple. I'm getting a little bit of buckling. I didn't tape it down from where we're wet, but I'm not too worried about that. Some nice granulation going here. I can see that there could be some that could happen there. The Potter's Pink, maybe a tiny bit. Now I'll bring them all closer to you when they're done. We'll do a close-up. So this is number 601, and that is grayish blue. I mentioned I went plein air painting. I got myself a new setup. I went ahead and got the Pochade box like what Lindsay has because I really loved her setup. Now, she was not working with watercolor that day, but I could definitely see how I could use watercolor in that setup. And so I'm going to be I'll probably do a review on that as well next time I go out, and I hope to be able to go out soon. So that is 601, the grayish blue. I had a blast. How many of you have done plein air, and did you enjoy it? Is it something that you like to do, or was it not your cup of tea? How do you feel about it? All right, Cobalt Turquoise Light, number 602. And now I will say these have the the tend to be like non-toxic. So I have to assume that like the cobalts and wow, words are not coming. That they're hues, not actual, heavy metals. cadmium and cobalt. Cadmium was like the word that just ran away from my head. Okay, next we have number 15, and that is the pale aqua. They're very creamy. I will say that. Rob tried it once, said the experience was not that great for him. I'll say like the first time I tried it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, why do people do this? You know, it was like either fighting the bugs or my stuff drying too fast, and it was that enjoyable. And when Lindsay asked me if I want to go, I was like, yeah, I didn't think about it. I was like, yeah, of course I want to go. And then I thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to bring? What am I going to do? She's going to show up with this little tiny backpack because I know she does a lot of plein air painting in the summertime. Like she paints sitting in her kayak in the middle of the lake. So I'm like, I told her, I said, no, you're going to show up with this little tiny backpack. And here I'm going to come looking like I'm setting up for 1800s lawn tea with like table and chairs, and a big, parasol or umbrella and paints. And oh my gosh, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that. I still definitely had more, I think, than she did. But that's like wanting to bleed away from an alcohol marker. You see that just pushing right away from. That's the cobalt green. I don't no other color done that as soon as I put it down, but I take that back. Actually, that's pushed away from where the alcohol marker is. The vermilion I can see has put away from where that is too. I wonder what is causing some of them to do that. Alcohol should have evaporated off. I should have just left the pigment there. But the cobalt turquoise is a little bit like that too. But did you see how when I went over that, it was like immediate said no. Interesting. See, it's coming away from it right now. It's like just separating right out. So I wonder if we can't go accurately off of that black mark because it is reacting and run away from the cobalt marker where that mark is. Interesting. Oh, now see that I could understand that not being a fun time. You're dropping oil painting brushes in the dirt and it's windy and but I have to say that this has sent me down this whole rabbit hole. I've been watching a few of other people's setups for plein air and find it really interesting, like what some people have done and what they bring, and trying to consider, like what I want to do next I go out. Okay, so this is number 502, and this is billiard green. Let's see if billiard green does the same thing with that marker. Yep, I can see it just pushing away right here. It comes right here. See it pushing away from that. So, what good that's telling us? Not anything at all. I don't know why they're reacting that way, but they're not liking it. This is a dark color. And it's still going to let me see it, what its acetone looks like when it dries, looking at the sides of them. But my paper's finally starting to lay flat now because I've got more of it wet. It's not curling just with this art. I have really had a lot of complaints on this particular paper for working with a cellulose. So next we have number 506 with shadow green. And this looks like it's going to be a lovely color. So for all of these, I'm just taking out whatever was left on my brush, dipping my brush in my cleanish water now, and blending that to get my second one. See the line around that? I mean, it has literally, that is pushing it away. I don't know why that's, I've not had one do that. That is not where that goes. That is not where that goes. I guess we'll get to see how staining it is. A little bit. Goes here. Ooh, I like that color. I could see this as some misty, distant evergreen trees. Oh, that would be beautiful. And it looks like that's going to have some granulation too. And it's looking a lot greener on my monitor. So I don't know if it's showing up greener for you guys, but this is definitely like a really dark, almost teal color versus evergreen. It's a lot clearer. It's looking a lot more on my screen. All right, the next color is number 501, and that's pea green. Because at first I was wondering if it's just the greens, but I mean, I can see where it's pushed away. You can see a halo right here in that grayish blue. I don't know. But it does not like that. I think what I'm going to do is take a... We're going to do a test. Because it's also green. There's Pigma Micron. Let's see if it reacts over a Micron pen. Because, you know, think line and wash. That's going to tell me, can I do my line work and then over it these paints? Or is it not going to want to work with this either? Okay, so pea green. I'm just going to do that right down here because I messed that up. I'll just kind of catch that edge. And there's pea green. Very warm undertones in that one. I can see lots of yellow coming through when I'm mixing it here on the palette. You can see lots of yellow coming through, and you can see here where I did old mauve, and I said I could see a separation of color. You can kind of see the blues and the reds, like you can see the blues right there. There's a little bit of separation. I'm not seeing it as much in my swatch as I am in on the palette. And this one, mauve taupe, that's really giving me some, where it's wetter at the bottom, I'm getting some cauliflowering going on there. Drop there. Yes, I did. Okay. So this is the diluted. Thank you, Rob. Letting me know I had dripped it. That lifted right off. Lifted off nice and clean on that one. It wasn't staining like the shadow green. That was really staining. All right, so ivy green, which is now 505. And ivy green. I'm going to go over this line made by the Pigma Micron pen. And a real test would be to take a color like this and do it over the ones that we know really didn't like that, and put that over the Micron pen and see if it pushes away. And I can do that. I just have to remember. I have a little scrap piece of actually B cotton paper, and I can try it on it. All right, so this is the ivy green diluted. I'm still seeing that mark going through. Like that's the first thing. It's like drying faster in that area. This actually just literally pushed right away. That looks like still, you see that little line coming through. Last on this row, we have number 504, which is green gray. Just going to cover them and see what happens. Now that is a nice, it's going to be a really nice dark. These are the ones that are closest to me, evergreen trees. Yeah, even green gray pushed right from that Copic marker, the mark from Copic marker. That is a really pretty color. I like greens. Yeah, almost instantly. Where the Copic marker was, it pushed it straight away. This one where the Micron is pushing, it's more subtle, and I'm not seeing that halo that I'm getting on some of these. Like that one, you can really see it. And I have a thing, you're going to really see it on this one. And it's like where that Copic was, it won't stick to the paper anymore. The watercolor won't stick there. And green gray we're all done with. Rinse that out. Good to know, because if you could imagine if you did all the work and thought you were going to come back in with these and had that happen, oh, I would just be not thrilled. Well, the gray blue has some haloing here as well, and it looks like the vermilion did the same kind of thing. I'm not seeing it with some of these others. A little bit in the mauve. I'm seeing the halo happening up here around the green gold. So again, green. I don't know. Is it in like the old mauve, the grayish blue? Is it a blue that's causing that, or is it a yellow as part of those making up the green, or is that just a pigment that doesn't? I don't know what pigments are, so again, really hard to try to guess. But see how different that looks when it's wet versus, like, there was definitely a separation there or something. This is beige gray. So that's beige gray. Yeah, if I had lined out an entire work and got all line work done and was going to come in with the wash and had that happening, I would not be happy. I would probably say things I wouldn't say on YouTube. I'd be editing a lot out of a video. Oh my goodness. So next is number 49. That is the yellow brown. Have any of you worked on a butcher's tray for your palette before? I love mixing on this. I don't use it often enough. I've thought about actually putting my colors right around the edges, but because it's beveled, so in here sinks down. Kind of, it's got a little bit of a crown to it. You see how these are kind of running that way. I feel that like colors would get so dirty, and then I wouldn't be able to handle that because the palette's got to be clean. But I love mixing on the butcher's tray. Okay, I'm seeing the halo, but it didn't push away as fast there. I'm seeing kind of separation of color here. All right, so that was the yellow, number 49. Now we got number 402, which is Mars Yellow. Mars Yellow. I wonder if this will granulate. I know Mars Black granulates. Well, Mars Yellow? I don't know. I so wish I could get my hands on pigment information for these paints. And that, I can tell you, is going to push right away also. It had already started when I was mixing it. I can see it right up here happening. So Mars yellow. Yeah, just in the time it took to mix up diluted wash. That's pretty so bright. I bet if I tapped that and pulled that up, it would leave a very bright, almost yellow stain behind. Okay, Tara. All right, and the last one in set is the Venetian Red. Now, Venetian Red, some of those are PR 101. I think PR 101. Gosh, don't quote me on that. Now I just made myself second guess myself. Like Indian Red, usually PR 101. Which is more of a brownish red, and that this definitely has that look to it. I'm so curious to know like what they're using. That green gray has a beautiful granulation to it. It's soft. It's not a hard granulation. It's very subtle. This, if it is PR 101, is definitely a color that typically granulate. So we will see. So there is the Art Nouveau set. And they look lovely. Hold my brush over there. So there's my palette from diluting with water. You see all the colors. And you're seeing, if you look here, you see, look, there's some granulation up here. You can kind of see a little bit in here. And a few others too. So it's interesting, like that one right there. So these still, the bottom ones still have to dry, certainly, but let me just bring it up closer to you where you can see the whole thing. Here we go. So we definitely have, if we want to look even closer, there are colors that look like you could get some granulation out of them. See the separation color in the beige gray. Interesting. And then there was that. Look at that Venetian red. Oh, look at the granulation. That's beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Rob. Huge thank you. I cannot wait to paint something with these now. I'm excited. I definitely think I could pick some favorite colors, but the whole set is full. Beautiful range of muted colors. Look at how we've got, so the billiard green gave us a little bit of a bloom. The mauve taupe gave us a bit of a bloom. We'll see if the Venetian red does. That still has a pool at the bottom. And so does the Mars yellow. Didn't get as much of a bloom on the vermilion. So far as these two, the mauve taupe and the billiard green, those bloomed up where they had the extra bit bling at the bottom of the. Oh, and the cobalt turquoise light, that did as well. Other than that, everything else, even where the water pooled, didn't seem to bloom. So if that's something you don't like to happen, that's good to know as well. And what's going on with the Copic and the, I don't even know. I don't know why it's reacting that way, but I can see, if you look at that billiard green, everything's wet around it, but where that just pushed everything away. Same down here on the shadow green. It just pushed it completely away from it. The Mars yellow is reacting a bit the same way too. If I can get to tip. No, it's not showing me the reflection. Yeah, right there. So you see how it looks dry in the center, but everything around it is wet. A few of them have done that. Interesting. I've used that same marker with for swatching the watercolors. I've never had the problem. And I've done it on this paper before and not had that problem. So I don't know. I'm not sure. But let's check. So here's a piece of the B cotton paper. I'm going to do 2 ways. I'm going to make the line just like I did with the stream with the Copic marker. Or no, well, just before we began. I didn't do it before stream. And then I'm going to take, I'm trying to get one that's larger. Oh, that's gray. That's not going to work. There we go. So this is a Pigma Micron. This is a 03. It's hard to do it with this because it's so skinny. And I'm not seeing another thicker one on my desk, but I'm just going to go over it a couple times here. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute. And I'll test a couple of those colors on this paper with those. And here, just, you know, there's an Art Alternatives pig liner. And this is supposed to be permanent once it's dry. And I'm supposed to be able to do line work with it. And I tested this with watercolors and not found to be a problem. So this is Art Alternatives. This one's a Pigma. And then this was Copic. We will see. So those colors that were really bad, I'm going to test a strip of them and see if it does it. Let that set. Okay. There's my lid. Put it somewhere. And I didn't swatch them in the, you can swatch them right here in the lid of the box. They have, you know, spots for you to do that. I didn't do that while we were going along. Mostly because I didn't have room on the desk for another thing to be out. I am not sure where I put lid. All right, just going to set that aside. Find me. And the next one is the Gansai Tambi. And this is 12 color set number 2. So number 2. And again, this one, they come in the box. Okay, if I can get the box out here. And you can swatch right in the lid. You have the little plastic covers to help keep your pan down. And you just put the covers on, close your box, and that's how you put them away. Oh my goodness. You spoil me. Spoiling me, Rob. I'm going to be like, stuck the mailman. Yes, Tara, see, she out herself in the chat. So this one and the small little trap, there it is. I'm like, where did I put everything? It's run away. And this one came from Tara, and she says she's late. That it was a birthday gift and that she was late. Okay, my birthday's in December. Her birthday's December. Hers still hasn't gone out yet. It's still sitting here on my shelf waiting for it to be sealed up and posted. Mostly it's figuring out all the customs forms I have to fill out. And they've changed. Like last time I filled it out, it was so easy. Look at those as they're drying. It's going to be pretty. The palette's going to look pretty when it's dry. I wet these again like I did the other ones. But yeah, I was waiting for another thing to come in that I had ordered for her. And it was here. Trust me, that's not holding it up. It's me being able to get it out and figure out the customs form. It's changed. Last time I used my shipping app that I use, it was like so easy. All I did was typed in what things were and put it on the declaration. They took care of everything else and away it went. Not this time. This time it was like, what's the code for this and what's the code for that? I was like, I don't know. I don't work for the Postal Service. I have no idea what the code is. So I haven't been able to send that out yet. Hopefully I will rectify that soon. Look, I put my lid in the lid of the box because when I can't find it, that's where it's going to be. All right. So I have this one filled out. And for this one, I'm going to just grab my little plate here, which has some, trying to remember what this, oh, this was some of the Daniel Smith gouache. And talk about rewetting. I don't want to spray my, right? Spritz. Don't fail me now. Rewet so easily. As if it were watercolor. And like I said, they claim they don't have extra, they don't put anything, any other butters or fillers or anything like that in the gouache to make it more opaque. It's just more pigment. So at least that's what they said during their live stream when they were sharing it for the first time. Okay. You guys can see that a little bit. I'm leaving this here to remind me to come back to that before we're done. That way there, I know this had plenty of time to soak into the paper and be completely dry. All right. Next up, we have, this is again the 12 color set number 2. Hey, Shauna. So these start with number 14. The numbers all over the place. But number 14, which is Cherry Blossom Pink. So again, we'll start with it at its full strength. It doesn't have any lines this time. We're just going with it. And then I'm going to put that on my palette. Just dip my brush to water. And do it more diluted. There we go. Okay. Next up, we have number 13, which is Lilac. There we go. Very soft. It becomes a very soft color. All of these are beautiful. Of course, I'd probably say that about most any color. All right, so this one is number 69. This is Horizon Blue. So I'm going to be curious when I, continue to try these out. Like, how do they layer up? Can I let a dry layer on top of them without reactivating the lower layer as, too easily? Or do I have to be really careful because I want to make mud? I think I saw somebody comment last night when I was over in Lisa's stream that every time they use watercolor, it seemed to make mud. And I wasn't going to get into, discussion over there. But sometimes if we layer and we're layering our complement colors, and if they reactivate that layer below, or the layer below is shining through, that's where we're going to get those more muddy colors. This is for 60. This is Cobalt. And again, they have the mark saying, they're non-toxic. So I have to believe this to be like a cobalt blue hue versus actual cobalt blue, because then it would have to have warning on it. In the state of California, would not be able to use it. No, I'm kidding. I'm teasing. I have a relative that's living right now. I tease. They can't have anything. because you get all like, what's that? The Prop 69 warnings. Ooh, diluted. That's going to be a really, look at that. For some skies, you can see that diluted as a nice color in your sky. For sure. And the horizon blue, is it? Please tell me it's not. Anybody else experiencing some skipping of the audio? We were having problems where earlier it was buffering, and I think it's a YouTube. I know it's not a me thing. It's more than enough. I have more than enough push out to the internet. It shouldn't be doing that. I think it's a you thing. Hopefully not. I hope you guys aren't. Rob said he had to refresh, and I'm assuming that helped because nobody was telling me different. Hopefully the playback, and if you're watching this on replay and it is, I apologize because I don't know why it was doing that while we're live. So this is number 59, lime green. Wow, that's bright. And oh, if that was lifted, I'm going to do another strip. I got to show you this. I know it's going to do it. I can see it. Look at that on the palette. Look how bright that is. Okay, once that's diluted, that almost goes yellow. It is like such yellow green. And what's talking about lime green, this guy. If I came in here, put that green down, and then lifted, look at the yellow that leaves behind. Wow. That is bright. I don't know why it's doing that. And I don't know any other things that I might be able to check. It's buffering a little. Okay. Hopefully the recording isn't. Yeah, it's showing an error, but I don't know how I can fix it. And it's on latency. It's not, it won't even let me go change that. I don't know. Well, you guys are going to have to let me know if it gets better. I don't know why it's doing it other than on YouTube's end. Doesn't YouTube know? Thursday's our day. It's been a while, but they remember. All right, this is number 48, which is greenish yellow. I may just have to let, if I watch it on the replay and it's bad, then I will the video down and put it as a regular video and not have it be a replay of the live. So there's greenish yellow, number 48. See, that was me. I was like, I need to try that. I'm not waiting any longer. I have to dive in and go for it. So number 11, natural beige. Very creamy off-white. Like an antique look to it. So there's natural beige. And I think when I add water to this will be like otherwise known as my skin color. Ridiculously pale. Yeah, see, I was lying. It's pretty close. All right, so next comes, maybe this one will be more like, next comes Rosy Beige. Or not rosy, it's rose. Number 12 is Rose Beige. Oh, I don't know if you caught that, but when I smeared over that, it I saw a clear streak of red in there. Yeah, that's gonna be more. That's gonna be for me. Oh, that's true. You never know. No, on a fiber. It's like I said, I know if I check speeds, I'm pulling and pushing 100 megabytes per. I'm like upload and download 100. Which, you know, there's some people out there hearing that and going, "Wow, it's slow." Oops, I don't want to run there because they're doing it at like gig speed or something. But those of us up here in Maine, that's fast. Yeah, see? Yeah, rose beige. That's like me color. Only I've been out in the sun a couple times, so, which I shouldn't be, but I have. I'm paying the price. Okay, then we have number 71. This is Indian red. So this is what I was talking about. Indian red is usually a PR 101. And it granulates. It is a granulating color. It's a granulating color that like Schminke uses in some of the super granulating colors. Oh, we'll see. I don't know. That doesn't mean this is PR 101. It just means that I'm just giving facts about the particular pigment. In all honesty, I have no idea what these are because I can't find the information anywhere. Hello, Crafty Skull Design. Welcome to the stream. All right. So we'll see if this gives some granulation because traditionally, if I had Indian red, I would expect would granulate. Okay. Next up, we have number 72. I just rinsed that in good water. So much from a good water. So next up, I have number 72, which is maroon. Can anybody say maroon without thinking of Marvin Martian, or did I just seriously date myself? You know, you know. All right, so 72 is maroon. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. And then again, I'm just wiping the paints in my brush onto my palette. I just dip my brush in my water and then come back, and that's how I'm diluting them. I hope you guys cannot hear neighbor's dog. This once again become the most annoying thing in the world now that weather is turning nicer. Because it's always outside, and any car that goes by, it must acknowledge it. Whether it lives there or not. Okay, so there's maroon. That's pretty. And then, don't get me wrong, I love dogs. Oh, good, no dogs. That's Marvin Martian. See, you know. And I love dogs. I just don't like hearing your dog speak to you repeatedly and you ignore it. Okay, number 21 is gray. And there you go. That's all the rant you're getting from me. So this one just is gray. Diluted. Oh, maroon 5. No. No, that's not where I was going. And then this one, number 68, is Blue Gray Deep. This in the pan looks black. So we will see what we get. Mass tone still looks almost black. Very dark. Very dark. Now let's dilute because I have a feeling, oh, I have a feeling this is about to get really good. So Blue Gray Deep, you ready for this one? What a gorgeous deep blue. Look at that. Think like night sky. I just want to like splatter some stars on that. That's gorgeous. Thinking about the ranting. I was like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, I agree, Jeff. I agree. I mean, I could. Don't get me wrong. I could. But is it, Lindsay says, I don't want to yuck on anybody. Yeah. I'll have our own opinions, right? Okay. Then when you're done, even if these are still wet, you can just put the little cover over top of it and close them up. So there is your Gansai Tambi. This is the 12-color set number 2. And I'm going to bring those up for a closer look. And then we have one more to go, which I'm really excited to see how these look. Look at that. So seeing some, the Cherry Blossom ink, we got some blooming like we did on a couple of the colors from the Nouveau set. That looks like it may, I may just not have had a pool on this one. But some of the others, they pooled. They were really pooled and they didn't. Look at this one. I love that color. That's beautiful. And that Indian red, you see that there's some granulation going on in the Indian red. Look at that Blue Gray Deep. Look at those. See how pale, almost yellow that lime green becomes when you put out? So they are your set number 2. You see? Sorry, Rob. I'm not trying to hurt the budget, but he says I need these colors. So they are beautiful. What a great addition to the Nouveau set. So there are the colors in my collection now of the Gansai Tambi watercolors, thanks to Rob and Hera. I much appreciate. Thank you so much for sending those. I'm really looking forward to working with that palette. Look how well they go together. They go together so well. I can see that lime green or that green yellow being a nice highlight for some of those other greens. Those are, yes. I can't wait to use those more. Okay, I tipped my palette. I was telling you guys, it always look great afterwards. I tipped my palette. You see what I mean about it running together? Now, if my paints were in that edge, oh, they would just be such a mess. That's why I don't like actually squeeze the paint into just unless I was using liquid watercolor, and then I would separate it like by corner and like I'd keep them pretty separate because it doesn't take much for them to roll onto each other. All right. So next up, oh hey, I found my lid. I found my lid to the set of 24 that I couldn't find. So there we are. Yeah, I found the plastic cover. So that's on now. And oh, we still need this one because now we're going to do the Boku-Undo E-Sumi watercolor, and they say shadow black on the side. And if I butchered that, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. It's going to happen. And I'm going to grab another plate. I'm going to grab this one. It's a small one so I can do the same exact type of swatching for you. I think I like seeing the mass tone and then seeing it diluted. You know, sometimes I do the mass and then I carry it out to see as it dilutes, but Oh, again, so Crafty Skull Designs does the same thing. Terrible stream to have watched my wallet will be hurting soon. Yeah. These are very reasonably priced, so this is definitely a set that, at least here in the US, that's pretty affordable. Okay, risk of suffocation. That's all that's on that one because it's plastic. Okay, so that is in the trash. So now these, oh, I didn't write the color. I will. I wrote the number, but I forgot to write the color. This is reddish black. So we've got, let me just do that real fast. Sorry, apologies. I want these all done ahead of time so you guys didn't have to see me write a bunch. Reddish black, yellowish black. You see a thing here? Greenish, and that's what it says, greenish black, bluish black. Wonder how much that's going to look like our deep, our blue gray deep from the set. They have purplish black. I really can't wait to do that one. Purple greens. Those are like some of my favorite colors. Black, but you know. We're talking watercolor, not clothing. So greens and purples. And brownish black. Okay. Same thing. I'm just going to grab my bet. Take some clean water. Cleanish water. At this point, it's clean-ish water. All right. And we're going to see those should not take very long. If they're like others, those should not take long to reactivate. Again, I'm still using my number 10 round from my SilverWhite brushes. I have to do a painting with these and see how I like those because I haven't done that yet. All right, so we're going to start with the reddish black. So not leaving much time for these to, oh wow, those re-wets easy. So easy. They are nice and creamy. Oh, that's nice. All right, so reddish black, mass tone. It definitely has the red hint to it. I'm gonna just wipe that off. You guys could actually be able to see my palette this time. Wipe that off on there. Mix in our water. What a pretty color. And this is reddish black. Okay. Next up is the yellowish black, which is E04. Which definitely looks green. Nice earthy green. Almost all like. See it there on the palette. There we go. Yellow black. I'm certainly seeing granulate going on in these. Okay, next one up is the greenish black. I can't get over how easy it was just be wet, and I barely have to touch that. I won't be damaging any delicate brushes well, as that's for sure. Greenish black in its mass tone, that's very black looking. See, even when I wipe it off there, like you can see some hints of where it starts to pull back. Oh, this could make some of our evergreen trees up here. I mean, some of the dark shadow tones in there. Yeah, that's greenish black. And then we have blue with black. This is the one that I was wondering, is it going to look similar to this one when we dilute it? We see. Again, looks very black in its mist tone. You see, definitely see the blue come through. Close. It's close, but it's not the same. Okay, next up is purple and black. I can't get over how easy this re-wet and how creamy they feel when you, just with those 2 drops of water. And yeah. So again, purplish black you could easily use in place of black, because in its mass tone is quite dark. Doing that on the palette reminds me of like Nouveau by Daniel Smith. I'm hoping this is a nice moody. I do too, Shauna. I feel the same way. I watch and I'm like, oh no. I'll start to see something I really like and I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt my wallet. Going plein air painting with Lindsay, and I saw her and I was like, oh, that's gonna hurt. I'm like, I don't even know how much this is gonna cost me. But I love the setup so much. I didn't order the whole, like her whole setup came, you can get it with or without a tripod, and her the Pashad box that she had. I didn't get it with a tripod because I have so many tripods and they have like the release parts to them. So I decided I was going to try one of those out first before spending the money on yet another tripod. So this is the E08, which is the brown black. So they went 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and E08 brownish black. So I was asking earlier, do you, before you arrived, do you guys do plein air painting? Do you like it? Not like it? I know Rob wasn't thrilled with his first experience. I don't know if Tara said if she does give it a go or not. Ooh, it even diluted, like I may not diluted that enough. Let me see if there was still too much on my brush there, because even diluted. I guess. Well, that one, the brownish black, very dark. And it's like a warm black. You actually went out to the back just the other day. Yeah. Okay. So I was like, I wonder if I can get Lindsay to come more this way. I was wondering if it was something you, because I know that you're just a little more south than me. She's a little bit more east than me. And I was like, oh, we could just get a crew together and outing to do some plein air painting. So there is the brownish black. Let me bring those even closer. Let's see if the microphone's getting in the way. So there is your brownish black. Look at purplish. I can't wait to see this one dry. I'm starting to see some separating here. See the blue undertones coming through in that. And then the bluish black, your greenish black, and your yellow, and the reddish. I really like those colors. They're almost like jewel tones in black. Yeah. Yeah. See, I was like, it sounds like it would be so much fun. And so I'll mention it when next time I'm talking to her, because we have already talked that we're going to plan another outing. And so I'll have to mention it to her. Yeah, well, we have quite a bit of space here. We're pretty rural. So yeah, definitely. You know what? You can, yeah, all you need is a park, or there's all kinds of things that you could do for plein air painting, or even in your own backyard. If you have flowers planted or something like that, just go out and enjoy the outdoors and paint. Or, bring a reference photo and paint that. Do that outdoors if you're into air painting. But I had a blast. I can't wait to go back again. There are those colors. So this is the Boku-Undo E-Sumi watercolor in shadow black. And again, just like the Gansai colors, uh, these come in the same larger pans and in the cardboard boxes. And that's that. So now I said I wanted to look at this palette, look at the colors. I just think those are gorgeous. And it looks like my porcelain has some cracks in it just by looking at this, but I think it's just the way it's dry. I'm not sure. It doesn't have visible cracks. Oh yeah, me too. I'm like waiting for the lupins to come. I have a whole hill full of lupins. Those should be coming soon. The daffodils are here right now. We don't have any tulips yet. So now let's just, before we go, I wanted to look at these. So problem that we were having, and see if it was like did not have enough time for the permanent mark to sink in. This was the alcohol, and we can see all the halos where it literally just pushed the pen away from that part of the watercolor paper. And see here, the Mars yellow, that did it too. I will say that once they're dry, I'm seeing very little sheen. They're pretty matte in colors. Like if I tip that, there's a couple that are still here by my thumb. The others, you're not seeing that sheen. It kind of disappeared. So yeah. These ones, same thing. Very, very matte. Very matte. There's like no shine to that at all. I really like that. That would photograph so well. All right. So we're going to look at, from that set, the Art Nouveau set. And again, if the Art Nouveau set is something you're interested in, apparently I did not realize how rare or how hard it was to get yours on these. And so huge thank you to Rob for sending these to me. But I put a link in the description below. They are on back order right now, but you can order through when things are back ordered, and they are expected in within the month. And I find that some things with Blick, I get them faster than what they say, and then some things take as long as they say, but usually never longer than they say, if that all makes sense. So yeah, it's something that you're interested in. Link is in the description below, and I would recommend. So the Copic marker, the Copic black, that's what I used at the very beginning of the stream when we did the first one and wanted to see how opaque they were. And quickly we started seeing, especially once we got to the green here, we started seeing that it was pushing everything away from it. So let's try it again. This is the B inspiration paper, which is the one that is the cellulose pulp type paper. This is part of a sheet of B 100% cotton 140 pound watercolor paper. So I'm going to try it on this. We're going to see, do we still get the same push effect? So I'm definitely going to do the billiard green, the shadow green. Those happen like almost instantly. The green gray did. The Mars yellow was a different color, did. But definitely these here really pushed quickly. So we saw that like right away. So yeah, I'm not sure. Rob. I think I have some Nouveau, but I don't know. I would have to double check my paper stash. But Rob loves the black colors and how they would be on you paper. I really like black colors, but then I like moody, granulating, muted colors anyway. So of course I like them, and they're paint. So of course I like it. All right. So we had number 502, the billiard green, gave us a problem. And that right in its mass tone. So I'm just going to go in, grab some of that. Gosh, and even that was already starting to dry, but just a little bit of water. Those really wet nicely. Okay. And I believe I heard you can, I was watching a video. I hate to say this because I don't have the exact information to give you, but somebody had listed a website. I'd have to go back in my history. If it's something you're interested in, post it in the comment below and I will go find it, comment, and pin it afterwards. But you can order these pans individually. There is a place we can get them individually. So if you loved it or and used it up and you want to replace it, you can get these open stock. All right, so here we go, the billiard green. Now I want to get extra by that. Oh, where that was. There we go. All right, we will see if that pushes away because look at the halo effect it caused here. Maybe it's just some sort of reaction with the alcohol marker on the pulp, you know, this paper versus the cotton. I know, but already I'm seeing here it's not staying. If I go back over that just like I did last time, does it push right away from there? So that was the billiard green, and then the shadowing definitely showed it like real fast. We'll see if that does. I left plenty of paint there. Okay. And oh, the green gray. That was another one that haloed out, and so did the grayish blue. And see, I'm already seeing it happening here. So I don't know what it is about the Copic, but definitely don't recommend if you were going to do some kind of line work first and then go over it. I would definitely not recommend to use a marker like that. And like I said, I have used on the B watercolor paper because I have swatched on this before, and you guys see me lay down a black line to test its opacity. I've used this many times as my black line and never had this issue. And you can see it's pulling away here too. And the grayish blue did it also. I like that when you first get them down, they look like they're going to be really opaque, but as soon as they start to dry quickly, start to become more transparent. I say semi-opaque, semi-transparent. Because every single one of them, and the ones that did cover, didn't push away, you know, they're still transparent. So a lot of those colors are definitely more transparent. All right, so yeah, definitely already starting to see the halo here. I don't know how those will come through. Not as bad. I mean, when we did it on this paper, it was like instant. Like I couldn't even get my brush away from it. It was just running away. So it's only slightly better on the cotton paper, but these aren't doing it. where we see the ivy green pull away from the Micron pen. That was the Pigma Micron. I'm not seeing that here. I didn't test ivy green specifically, but I'm seeing that happening here. It's not the easiest to get that lid up. Let's just see, that is going to be this one, ivy green. You can definitely see pulling right off the where the Copic was. So you watch it, it's just going to go right across, and it's just pulling it away. Now the alternatives, I'm seeing a little bit of separation there. And I wouldn't think, I mean, these are ones that you can normally line and that they're waterproof and they're not going to reactivate. Not reactivating. It's not mixing that black into color. The black's not moving, but it doesn't like being on the paper where that line was. So if you are somebody who likes to do line and wash, that might be something to keep in mind. I don't know if the washes, because we didn't test that, I would have to test that. If the washes would react the same way or if it's only in its mess tone. But that was three different brands and ones that I've never had a problem with before. So, yeah. And look at the color. Look at that in the green gray. I love that green gray. Love that gray color. Look at the granulation that's showing up in there. But you can see the halos. You're getting, especially like right in here, the halo effect. That is just pushing it away. That's pushing, almost got it all off that line. It doesn't like it. It definitely does not like the Copic marker. Pigma is a little less of a problem. I'm seeing a little bit of lighter area around here. If it dries significantly, like where these are really come in play more, I'd let you know, but I couldn't even get up on it. It pushed it away. I don't know if it's just alcohol with it being in the paper with this. I don't know. I have no idea. I could only be speculating. However, pens that with my regular watercolors I can use, I can't use here under these. So good information to have if you're somebody who likes to do line work and then paint over it. You might want to consider painting then lining if that's something that you want to do with these paints. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed seeing those colors. Again, just huge thank you both to Tara and Rob for sending these sets out. So that was the Art Nouveau set and then the Gansai Tambi 12 set number 2. And I do believe that all of the sets, there were no duplicate colors here. And that's one thing I think, if you're calling correctly, that all of the sets, there aren't repeat colors. So if you get one, I mean, unless of course you're getting like the big, I said 100 that has like all colors. But there's these two sets right here. And look at those colors though. They're beautiful. I'm really looking forward to using these in a painting. And the Undo E-Sumi, the Boku-Undo, and that's the shell black. Everything is linked below. Again, so far I'm loving the way that the SilverWhite brush is handling. I love for a pen, it's keeping its point nicely. This is what I was saying in the beginning of my journey in watercolor. You know, I had to have a little tiny paintbrush, and now I need it. Like I go for less and less because I've got better quality brushes and they hold their point so well, and the paints just flow right out of them. And I'm loving it. I don't need that little brush, and oh, we've come so far. But that's it. You gotta practice, you gotta play, you gotta learn and grow, and that doesn't happen just by watching. So I hope you will grab some and give some a try. Just swatch. If you're in a slump or you're bored and you can't think of what to paint, just swatch and see what it inspires you to do. Like I'm seeing these colors and some of these colors, and I'm just thinking, oh, I just some foggy mountains and pine trees that are just like screaming to be painted. And that's something that I love to paint. So, yeah. What do you love to paint? drop me a comment. What's your favorite? What is your favorite subject to paint? Drop me a comment if you're watching on the replay. What's your favorite subject to paint? Let's have a discussion about it. Let's see what everybody's enjoying. So hope that you like these sets. The links are below. As I said, thank you to the mods. And it is so great to be back streaming. And I hope I am able to go again next week. I have not committed to it every week basis. Not yet, because, you know, still recovering, still healing, still trying to get better day by day. But it is so great to be back with all of you guys. Thank you to everybody who's here and chatted with me. It was so good to see you. And again, I am almost there. I am almost there. So if you haven't, I hope that you will consider subscribing to the channel, because we are just 141 people away from hitting my goal of 1,000 subscribers. And it's my first major milestone, and I am really looking forward to that. So if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this right now and you enjoy the streams and hanging out, please subscribe. Come hang out with us more often. We'd love to have you. So I'm going to put another video up right about where that little hand came up for you to watch next if you're watching this in the replay. And yeah, everybody else, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Create something. Go have fun. Start swatching, see where it leads. All right, guys. Bye-bye.